Hi everybody, this is Alchemist2 and I'm back again with another series review. I just recently started watching a series called American Gods, which is written by one of my favorite authors of all time, who happens to be Neil Gaiman, or Gaiman. I'm not really sure how to pronounce his name, and I'm sorry if I'm butchering it, but he is an idol of mine and I can only aspire to his greatness. But from the very beginning, we are introduced to a man writing a novel about how the Vikings came to America, and they were frightened away by the locals. And I mean, these arrows just come raining down like fire, and they kill one of the Vikings, the conquering Nords, I should say. And they didn't know a word for misery, so they invoked the All-Father, thinking maybe the wind would blow their way, and no wind was blowing. And finally it required war to get them to have All-Father's approval. And Leif came back later to deal with that god at some point in time, but from the very beginning of American Gods, you are completely captivated by the past versus present day, and you see Moonshadow, which in itself, his name evokes duality, and it's very intriguing. You get the sense right off the bat that this is going to be a very allegorical show, very symbolic, and it is. And not only that, but I have the feeling that you would have to watch an episode twice just to get every little nuance of meaning from the episode. It's very heady, it's very intellectual, it's surreal. It feels like, how do you know what's reality? How do you know what's fantasy? Who is this man Wednesday? And it's interesting that his name's Wednesday. From the very beginning, we're introduced to the whole mythology of the Norse. Don't think I wasn't paying attention to that. Woden's Day, Odin's Day, that kind of thing. I think, the All-Father? Perhaps. I get the feeling that he's not All-Father, though, because in the preview they show other incarnations, I think they are. I'm not really sure who these deities are. I'm thinking that they're deities. That's what I'm going on. And I don't know, he seems more like a trickster than anything else. And then the old children's rhyme comes to mind, Wednesday's child is full of woe. I'm a Wednesday's child, go figure, but I am not full of woe. I am the exact opposite. I defy rules, I defy regulations, I defy preconceived notions. But Wednesday is instantly a character that I find extremely intriguing, especially his associate, who does this unbelievable coin trick. And of course there's a goddess who is involved, and she's very intriguing, and I was curious about what her origin is and where she what she really encapsulates, because I'm thinking maybe she's an Egyptian goddess, but I'm not for certain about that. The way she consumes her her adjulee, I thought, what the heck? I mean, there were a lot of moments that just made me stare at the screen thinking, what the F? Because it's that kind of show, but it's disturbing, but you can't look away. It's just one of those things, sort of like with The Sopranos and the dream sequences that they had, and same thing with Falling Water, which I think they canceled, unfortunately. But American Gods, there is so much going on, and I would love to just watch that episode again and get a good analysis of it. And I'm wondering if anybody has any theories out there about Wednesday or Moonshadow. And of course Wednesday has his own theories as to how Moon got his name, and he's been incarcerated. But what's so intriguing is he has his sentence shortened. It was going to be 6 years, but it was shortened to 3, and of course that whole deal that he embarks upon, whether he wants to or not, with Wednesday. And then we get another character who we all love to hate, but yet we still are so impressed by just how intimidating he is, and the goons that he has, the faceless goons. I thought, that's very different. And they look like Slender Man. I mean, they don't have any face. They have no features that would make them stand out. They're just faceless patsies that do this man's bidding. And we don't know this man's name. He just kind of appears at the very end of the episode, and you think, what is going on? But so much happens in this episode that it's hard to make heads or tails of any of it. And like I said, you wonder what's real, you wonder what's fake. You're kind of pondering whether you've gone on some kind of crazy LSD trip. And it's just like Moon says, am I losing my marbles? And he doesn't say it that way, but this is a series that I absolutely love. And of course, Neil just crafts a yarn that you just are completely engrossed in. And it's interesting to see this, that how grotesque it is, and you see how accurate they are to detail with the Nords that came over and the bloodbath with that. And the dream sequence I didn't want to go too much into because I'm afraid that it'll give away too many plot points. However, I do think it's foreshadowing, and it was definitely prophetic near the end of the episode. And if you've watched the episode, you know why. I'm not going to go too much into that, but I love the characters. I'm enjoying the series. I'm looking forward to further episodes so I can figure out what the heck's going on. But one thing we do know, and I don't think it's a bit too much of a spoiler alert, but when he's released from prison early, this of course the guard comes. I don't know, it wasn't the warden, but he says, it's one of those good news, bad news scenarios, isn't it? One of those jokes. Good news is, hey, you get out of prison early. Bad news is, guess what? Your wife is dead. And then through a series of events, when he comes home after Wednesday, kind of lets his leash loose a little bit. He said, just take as much time as you want. I thought, there's got to be something to that. I mean, the contract, even though it was just verbal, you don't really get that much inference or context based on that. And of course, Moon keeps saying that he really wasn't interested. He's like, we don't have a contract. He's like, yeah, you do. You work for me now. If you want me, if you are gonna do what I say, you're gonna have to. If I want you to hurt some people for me, you're gonna have to do it. And Moon says, absolutely not. I'm not. If you're asking me to do it for profit, I ain't doing it. And he basically gives him a figurative "fu," and it's so funny. But I mean, a lot of the scenery, much of the scenery, just comes off as very surreal and dreamlike and otherworldly. And the bar was really cool looking. I thought, wow, this scenery is just unbelievable. It's just absolutely incredible. The whole gator motif and the lights, they look like they're alligator teeth. And I mean, I pay attention to detail here, and Neil too, and his producers and everybody who's working on this. It's so intricate, and you keep thinking predators. Okay, there's something to that, and I'm thinking Wednesday himself is a hustler, like he said, but he's more than that. He is definitely a very complicated character, and I could tell from the get-go when they met, and especially when Moon reveals that he has a fear of flying. And I thought, I'm wondering what that stems from. Maybe they'll go into it. Maybe we'll have some more background to Moon's character. But I already like Moon quite a bit because he shows resolve, he shows integrity, and the only way that he was gotten into a fight was when his when that bodyguard said something about his wife. And I thought, oh, you take a cheap shot like that, you're a fool. And, you know, it just cold cocked him, and oh, it was glorious. I thought, yeah, you deserved that. I'm sorry, he did. But, you know, nobody makes fun of somebody else's wife, especially when they're in mourning, especially when they just figured out that their wife was dead, and then the circumstances as to what was going on, and he realizes that his wife wasn't faithful while he was away, and I thought, oh my dear Lord God, it keeps getting worse and worse for him. But it's just a very multifaceted series that I've fallen head over heels with, and there's quite a bit of symbolism. If anybody understands what's going on with the symbolism here, please clue me in. I mean, I know that I got inferences here and there. I have theories, if nothing else. I'm intrigued to see where they're going to take this, and what these different characters, what their capacity is, what kind of realms they inhabit. The whole title, the Boneyard, that in and of itself had two meanings. One when he's in the prison, and then the other when he's in the dream realm, and of course it's very obvious, and how creepy it is, how ominous, and how foreboding, and it just gives this whole sense of unease, and that actually sets the stage for later on, because from what you see in the dream, it makes absolute sense when he meets Wednesday what's going to go down. And it's just, there's so much to this show. It's just, it is by far the best thing I've seen in a good long, and the CGI, the graphics, everything about it, even the more risque scenes, especially with the goddess in mind, that was creative. I thought that was just unbelievable and just sensationally done, and I thought, she wasn't kidding. she when she meant worship me, give me your body, yeah, that's what happened. But it's just a great series, and I'm looking forward to seeing more episodes in the near future. Until next time, live long, prosper. Ciao, tutti.